Hello and welcome, my name is Akura and this is my Let's Play series of Expeditions Conquistador. In the last episode we constructed our party and now we are ready to begin.
1518. That year, the Maria Theresa left Spain and set sails for Santo Domingo. Each of us had our reasons for going, but on the sea, they did not matter. The fraternity was our family, and we followed our Capitan. In the worst moments, we learned who we could trust with our lives. The troubles only strengthened our resolve. When we finally glimpsed the shores of Hispaniola on the horizon, relief and excitement washed over us, our hearts filled with the promise of adventure. Our welcome was far from warm, however. The Gobernador disbanded our group and stripped our Capitan of command. If we were to continue, the Capitan would need to win his favor. It was only the first of many challenges.
So it seems we aren't well received in the New World. Let's see what that's all about. Was a nice intro though. Loading. So now you can kind of see what I was talking about in the last video about this being kind of like Heroes of Might and Magic. Your party is represented by, I guess this is your character riding on this horse, and you kind of move around a map like this. I don't know how much we can see yet. So we can. Right now we can only see the kind of town here, and from what I gather from the video I saw, while you are inside towns, you don't use up your movement points. But during the rest of the game, this is a turn-based game, so each turn you'll have a movement allowance, and you can move a certain amount, and then the turns or days will pass, and you can get new movement and things like that. So we're in the tutorial. Let's see. Oh, let's just disable that. We're gonna try and see if we can figure out this ourselves. Looks like this guy had a quest for us, so let's go there. Confiscation. As soon as you disembark, you are accosted by a group of soldiers led by a tall, heavy-set man with graying hair dressed in a captain's army uniform. Halt! By order of Governor Bernardo di Manzanero, I am confiscating your vessel and all her crew and cargo. So we have to preposterous. What we want to answer. So we could either name drop, or we could claim our rights. Let's just ask him with what justification he wants to do that. It typically does not please the governor to give justifications for his decision, but he has instructed me to instruct you to go to the palace and speak to his grace worthwhile. Perhaps you could pry an explanation out of him. Let's just. It seems pretty obvious that it's not him who's the evil guy. So let's just be nice to him. Very well, I can see that you're just following your orders. This is very reasonable of you, Monsieur. So let's leave. We're about to squeeze past the captain when he extends his hand. My name is Juan Norida, by the way. Pleased to meet you. And we are Hugh Menendez. He nods and lets you slip past him. Then he gets back to the business of impounding everything you own. Well, that's not so good. Let's see if we can find that palace. It's probably up. This one up here. Let's go there. Entering Alcázar de Colón, you are led to the office of Governor Bernardino di Maldonado. The governor does not seem particularly pleased to see you. Ah, Senor Menendez, I am glad you could come here so quickly. That's Captain Menendez, Governor. We could say, we could ask what this is all about. or we could demand our crew and ship back. I think I'm gonna be kind of neutral. Straight to business then. Very good. I know your father by reputation, a powerful man back in Spain. But this is Hispaniola, and now you answer to me. I will not let a spoiled nobleman's son pay his way to the new world with his father's money. I have better uses for your men and supplies than to waste them chasing after foolish dreams of fortune and glory. Do you understand? I think at this point we're probably gonna get upset, so we're gonna say, this is my people, they served me. The corner of the governor's lip curls up condescendingly. They serve the Spanish crown, and here I am the Spanish crown. Your men and your ship are going nowhere without my permission, and you'll go no such thing as long as the colony is under threat. The fact of the matter is that your troops are needed here. We have been having some problems with the natives recently, and our suspicion is that various groups of them are preparing for insurrection. You would do well to serve your king and his representatives in this matter. Okay, we aren't that outrageous. I decided, and we don't want to piss him off further. So let's just ask him what he wants us to do. Go down to the fortress and find the quartermaster, Umberto Il Rosso. He will insist to test you, and I see no reason not to indulge him. When he is done with you, return to me and we will discuss how to proceed from here. So let's see if we can find that guy. Oh, it's probably this guy over here. It's like a quest system. These things, I guess. Turn the screen like that, and then I can click on him. Finding the fortress is not difficult, and now that you are no longer in a hurry, you have the time to take in the new city on your way there. Find Umberto Il Rosso. You find Il Rosso smoking a pipe in the shade, evidently enjoying the warm climate while he watches some soldiers train in the courtyard. He addresses you with a warm, very friendly voice. So you're the new arrival? I saw your ship come in. I dare say it's quite impressive. You must know the right people back in the old world. You know that his accent is distinctly Italian, from somewhere around Dante, if your ears are not deceive you. Governor Mendes sent me here to take your command for my people. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Senor Rosso. Let's just try to make him glad. We are here to kind of get in his favor after all. The portly man raises his eyebrows and lets out a single boring laugh. Did Manzanado generally call me that? I never thought that old Stronzo would stop here the formalities. My name is Umberto Di Rosso. It's Italian. But nobody calls me that except the governor, and I suppose he finally started using my nickname as well. No matter. Let's ask him what Il Rosso means. It means the red. It's all the same to you. I'd rather not go into how I came to acquire that name. And what may I call you, Capitan? My name is Ahura Mendes. Il Rosso's face is split by a wide grin, and he extends his hand to shake you firmly. Very good. It's also a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Menendez. Manzanado sent me here to take command of my people. Cross his arms and smirks. If you will excuse my facetiousness, they are not currently your people, Capitan. However, I will be happy to lead them into your command once you have shown me that you understand what it takes to command Spanish men and women in battle. Anything less would be irresponsible of me. Well, yeah. We don't want to insult him, so we'll just kind of play along. So, very well. If there can be no other way, I suppose I can use the practice. Il Rosso spreads his arm and then loudly claps his hands together in a sweeping motion. With all this text, I need a lot of coffee. What's the sort of attitude I was hoping to encounter? Here, most of your people seems to be done unloading their equipment from your fine ship. Why don't we go ahead and divide them into two sides? I will lead one group and you will assume command of the other. Let's see if you know what we're doing. So let's begin battle. So apparently have to choose 3 people. I will need I think I'll need a warrior or a soldier. Let's get Rita Martinez. And then I think I'll want some ranged dudes. There was a hunter. Kind of want to check out the scouts too. So let's take 3 different. Can we choose an? We probably don't have any equipment yet. So let's just go to battle. See how that works. Oh, and once again, it kind of reminds me of the battle system in Heroes of Might and Magic. But anyway, from what I saw in on the other Let's Play I watched, kind of have 2 kinds of actions. You have move points and action points. And if you only use your movement, you can move in within these light green areas. But if you use your action as well, you can move throughout the dark green areas too. But I guess this soldier, he needs to kind of take damage from the others, but I don't want to get him in close combat quite yet. So I guess I'll move him up a bit. Maybe up to here, so he can kind of attack in the next round. Can he... I thought he also had some... Oh, he has a ranged weapon, so let's just use that also. Oh, nice. Flint gun. Oh, we don't want to retreat. Probably just have to choose the next guy. So this is our hunter. So she specializes in ranged combat. Let's go up here. And let's just take out this guy. Or just go. Or we can't shoot through our own members, so let's just get the doctor. Always get the healer first. And then we can move behind cover, which is nice. Then we'll do the scout. So he can only, I don't think, he don't have a range, so we'll have to move him up behind cover, and then he can kind of get to them in the next round. He'll try to flank, we'll even go up here. And we'll end the turn, see what he does. So the doctor is kind of going back and trying to shoot. Soldier's trying for the scout. And then he's also... And none of them hit, so we're kind of lucky, I guess. They have a hunter soldier, so let's get our soldier up here. We'll go over to melee weapons. I think that's what they're best at. Yeah, that seems like a good guess. And then we'll get our hunter over here. And we can get her back into cover. And then let's get this guy over and do some damage. Ooh, nice, a critical hit. And he can even duck back into cover. Let's check out. He has, he can spot traps, and he has the feint ability, so he can hex opponents by an enemy. Oh, he can move through an enemy. He can move through the hexagon that the enemy stands in. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, this is the end of our turn, so let's see what he does. So that was the first damage we took. Let's go take care of her. And there's also... Can we attack? No, we can attack more. There's also like attacks of opportunity in the game. So I don't know if you've played Dungeons and Dragons, but if you move past a person, they have the opportunity to hit you while you're moving past them. Oh, and we got the doctor. Ran out of moves though. See if we can get this guy also. Pew! Oh, we can't shoot more than once. We can. Oh, we can't move it further either. And he's getting quite low on hit points, but I think we'll take him down in this round. Oh, lost that guy. I knew it was sort of a misclick. I was supposed to choose this guy, but I moved instead. So I won. It was actually quite a nice combat system, I think. The Rosa trundles around the battlefield to meet you, whispering the sweat of his forehead. Well fought! You're quite the tactician. Well done indeed. Your people are free to join up with you if they wish. I have no qualms about letting you take them, and you can tell the governor I said so. I hope this is not the last we'll see of each other, young man. Nod appreciatively. You respond with a smile and a tired nod, and the other pats you on the back while he lights up his pipe and walks back to his plate. And if you didn't see it, we gained some experience. So that's also nice. Let's go back and talk to the governor then. Returning to the palace, you are made to wait for an insultingly long time while the governor finishes some allegedly important responsibilities. It's quite obvious that we don't like him, and he wants to kind of lord over us. Fortunately, the palace has a very lovely garden courtyard where you can sit and pass the time. When you're finally to the Macenado, it is without even a hint of apology for the wait. Yes, good. I take it you passed whatever test the Rosa had devised for you then? I expect you'll be pleased to know that a perfect opportunity has turned up for you to serve the people of Santo Domingo. So we could either get even more offended, or we could just say we are ready for service. Well, let's just play along. He smiles. As you may have surmised, several problems encroach upon our control over this island. Most urgently, our supply lines to Santiago de los Cabrales in the north are being disrupted by a native cult of pagans that we suspected using some old ruins in the deepest jungles of our island. Our supply lines must be secured, and the people of Santiago will soon be severely threatened by the slaves of the rebels. So we only have one thing we can say there, and the troops of Santo Domingo have allowed this to go unaddressed. Captain Rodrigo refuses to take his troops anywhere near those ruins, and in any event they cannot be spared. They are needed to protect the city against the slaves. But that's the problem about using small slaves, that you have people, they might rebel. Okay, but you can either say we have no superstitious misgivings, but we aren't afraid of ghosts. We are not superstitious. Where are these ruins? We want to go explore. East-northeast from here. That way the jungle gets denser and the ground turns swampy. The ruins are somewhere in the middle of it. Bear in mind, we know next to nothing about this cult. We don't know what kind of people they are or how much of a fight they'll be putting up. I suggest you catch them by surprise and cut them down first. There'll be plenty of time to find out what they've been up to later. So he kind of wants us to shoot and ask later. But we'll kind of assess the situation ourselves. So he's kind of, just go along. Yes, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Feel free to keep whatever items of worth you uncover in that place. We'll call it your reward for a job well done. Return here when it's over and we shall discuss your next assignment. Okay, as you leave the governor's office, you are met by a young woman in uniform. Captain Ahura Menendez, Isabella de Urenes at your service. I will take you to your docks and oversee the transfer of your copy into your possession. We'll be a Spanish gentleman. You lift her hand to your lips and kiss it gently. She blushes ferociously and conceals a smile behind her hand. Follow me, please. Oh, Spanish is fun. A Spanish gentleman. Let's go pick up our supplies. Isabella leads you back to the docks where Maria Theresa is jovially overseeing the final customs check of your carby from the comfortable of his chair, pipe firmly held between his teeth. Uncharacteristically, he gets up and greets you when Isabella announces your presence. So, we meet again. Sooner than I expected, I must admit, and I see you have met Isabella. She is a polite young woman, isn't she? The daughter of Andres de Llorenes, who came over with Columbus on the Santa Maria, so you might say she's got a pioneer spirit in her blood. Old Andres had her with a Taino girl he took a fancy to, but as far as I'm concerned, she's as Spanish as they come. Umberto nudges Isabella affectionately, it does not little to remove the beet red color of utter embarrassment from her cheeks. No, we don't want to be impatient. Let's act interested. Are you hoping to follow in your father's footsteps, señorita? She seems confused at first, but then she realizes that you must be referring to her uniform. My father was a great explorer with a powerful lust for adventure. He was not much for a military man, but I must don the uniform to walk a similar path that he did, and I have done so without hesitation. Even Umberto seems a little puzzled by her cryptic phrasing, but he quickly manages the topic back to the matter at hand. Yes, well, perhaps that's a story for another time. I expect Captain Menendez will be wanting to collect his cargo now. I should really have chosen a last name I can pronounce better. Indeed. So we got all our things back. All our valuables, our medicine, our rations and our equipment. It's all here, Capitan. 500 reals worth of gold and silver treasure, 1 week of rations for 10 troops, valued at 700 reals, medicine and medical equipment for the tune of 800 reals, and 1800 reals worth of military equipment. What? We stocked 800 valuables and 2000 reals worth of equipment. Umberto looks embarrassed. These dock workers, most of them are slaves. The ones that aren't, well, they are not all up to the moral standard that you might wish. The goods must have been stolen. I might have known not to trust my cargo in the hands of strangers. I do apologize. I should have kept an eye on them. Well, it's too late to do anything about that now. I'm going to need the horses and carts and some servants. Of course, you may take 3 carts from the garrison, seeing how Enrique's contingent seems to be afraid to leave the confines of the city anyways. I believe we can spare a dozen slaves from the docks to serve you on the excursion to the island. So we could either say yes to slaves or no. What do we want to do? I guess we want to say no. We are a peacekeeping band of lovely guys, so we want to paid servants. Cox is sliding to the side. I'm sure I can arrange that. You'll still need a dozen of them, and they'll demand pay up front, of course. I'll talk to them on your behalf. I should be able to get you a good price, say 200 reals. So we can either give it or we can... Well, let's just give them money. Umberto nods and hurries out towards the palace. Isabella de Llorenes steps forward again. Wait for her to speak. I hope you pardon my forwardness, but would you permit me to join your expedition, Captain Menendez? Do you have any experience in battle? I have trained for many hours with Umberto, but no. I have never faced a real enemy. I would be happy to simply help with the carts and work around the camp every night until I am ready to fight. This is not going to be a pleasant walk through the woods, Señorita de Llorenes. Well, what are your skills? Blah, blah, blah. What can you do to make yourself useful? We'll just ask that. I spent almost as much time with the Taino as I have here in Santo Domingo. I know their culture and their traditions, not to mention their language. I'll be a useful interpreter. I also know the land quite well. I traveled the jungles and the coast extensively. Well, let's take her along. We want to get along with the natives, so we might as well get someone who can speak the language. A sparkling grin graces Isabella's face and she sets off at a brisk pace towards the fortress to pack her things. I'm gonna take a break and I'll see you in the next video.